Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabriel, and today we're doing another twin flame energy reading. This reading is meant to be timeless, so no matter when you find it, no matter where you're at on your journey, there is a message for you here. Today we're going to be pulling from the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. And I've already shuffled, so we're just going to go ahead and dive into it. So the first card is Surrender to the Journey, Release Control. This journey is about continual surrender. And it's not continual giving up, it's continual surrendering to what is, surrendering to the divine and the divine's plan for you. You cannot accelerate your journey by skipping over your blocks. You have to move through your blocks. You have to move through your feelings. You have to move through the upsets. You have to move through the experiences that God has for you. There isn't another way to do that. And you can resist it. You can resist going through those things, and that will be a painful experience. You can try to numb out to it or delay, but you can't avoid it altogether. You will eventually have to move through all the things that are keeping you from experiencing your love. And that's the love of God, that's the love of yourself, that's the love of your twin flame. All of those things are on the other side of the blocks that you have to love. And you may think, well, I already love myself. But there's always deeper that you can go into loving yourself. There's always, if you are experiencing any type of separation, if you're feeling separate from God, that's the biggest key. That's the biggest idea of separation consciousness, is that I'm separate from God, and that's just not true. So if you're experiencing that in any way, there's something for you to look at and heal. And it may be subtle, or you may be numbed out to it, but you can't, control the journey. You can't try to get your twin flame by going outside of you. You have to heal through the blocks. You have to move through the process. So it's not giving up. It's not meaning that you're going in a different direction and you'll never be with your twin flame. It's just the stepping stones that you have to take, the path that you have to take to heal and be able to manifest your twin flame sustainably. All right, the next card is Begin Now. Take your first step. Yeah, like a lot of us, feel like sometimes on the journey that it's forever. It's going to take forever. It's never going to manifest. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Or you hit a block and you're like, I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to move through this. But it really does start with that first step. It takes, all it takes is just feeling your feelings and loving yourself. And if all you can do is love yourself on the smallest layer today, that is okay. That is a step. And before you know it, healing those layers, just even tiny layer by tiny layer, adds up. And before you know it, you will be at the core. So don't give up just because something feels like it's a big block. Don't give up just because something feels difficult. Pace yourself when those things come up. Don't force yourself to move through it all in one go if you feel like you can't, if you feel like that's going to be too much for you. All you need to do is feel your feelings and love yourself into peace in this moment. You don't have to solve all the problems in your life. All you need to do is love yourself, and you can do that right now. All right, next card is Desert Passage. Trust that there is a divine plan. Yeah, this has been coming up. This message has been coming up a lot this week, really. In the card readings that I've done for this week so far, it's been really about surrendering to the journey and really, manifesting your reality and trusting God, right? And so, trust that God has the plan for you. Trust that God has the perfect path. Even if you think it doesn't look so good, even if you think it looks like you're not going in the right direction, trust that if you're choosing love and you're moving through your blocks honestly, that God is leading you perfectly. And sometimes you might have to go through a sticky situation. Maybe you'll have a really ugly upset come up and it feels bad and it's a really, nasty upset. Know that on the other side of that is more love, is more peace, is what you want. So don't be afraid to face it. You're not going to find out that you are that nasty feeling. You are not the feeling. And that nasty feeling is not necessarily the truth. if it feels bad and it's nasty, it's probably not the truth. You're just identifying with it. And when you let go of identifying with nasty feelings and you recognize that you are a pure divine child of God and that you're just experiencing this nasty feeling, you can let it go and move deeper into peace. So trust that God has the plan. You have to let go of these nasty feelings in order to experience your good. So it's not for nothing. It's really just releasing things and making room for what you desire. All right, the next card is Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life. Yeah, so you're facing all your blocks. You've surrendered to the journey. You've taken the first step into healing these nasty feelings that are coming up, right? That means you're at the gates of triumph. Oftentimes, like, we go through things that are like caves of fear, dark nights of the soul, before we have a really big breakthrough. So, a lot of people get to that point and they're like, oh, there's this big block that I have to face, right? And they're like, oh, it's too hard, I give up. And what's sad about that is oftentimes when they hit that block, that's the step that they could have just taken, and then their twin flame was on the other side of it. And don't give up just because it feels like it's really hard right now. Give yourself maybe a break, give yourself some self-care, but don't give up, because you are right at the gates of triumph when you're going through these big blocks in your life. And it may not be over in one day. It may be a very tough period of time in your life, right? But when you move through that with love and grace and take God's hand moving through it, when you come out on the other side, you have that big breakthrough, and it's always worth it. It's always worth it. You'll probably forget that you even had these deep, dark experiences. Every time I've moved through big blocks or big sections of time where it felt like I was just having a dark night of the soul, and I just oh, I'm never going to move through this. When I come out on the other side of it, I feel so good, and I don't really remember the pain that I was in. I don't really remember the upset, really. It's almost like a distant memory, or that like a dream that I had, and then it's like I woke up and it's like I remember that I went through something, but I don't really relate to that pain anymore. And that's how this works, is because that pain isn't real. It's an illusion. Once you've moved through it, you can let it go and experience the love instead of all that pain that you were holding on to. Just let it go and claim your breakthrough. The next card is Finding Sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. Yeah, you're opening to God here is really what's happening. And that happens with your twin flame too, because your twin flame is God's love coming through that person to be with you. And if you're not open to receiving God's love, you can't really receive your twin flame's love. And it's okay if you're not religious, if you're spiritual and you want to relate to God as being the universe or spirit or just love, that's okay. But if you're not open to love, if we take it down to just being love, if you're not open to love, you're not opening to receiving love, then you're not actually going to be able to experience it, because you're blocking it, right? It's only logical. If you're not open to receiving love, how can you expect to receive it? You're like, nope, but why am I not receiving it? So look within yourself to any places that you might be pushing away love, or maybe you're afraid to receive love. That's okay. A lot of us have those blocks. We all have those blocks, or we'd be experiencing perfect love at all times. But go to that space that you're feeling that's maybe resisting love, and just be with that part of yourself. Being with yourself, being present, naturally allows love to flow to you, because that presence is love, because you are love. So allow yourself to open to love, because that's what you're calling in at these the gates of triumph. When you're moving through your blocks, you're calling in more love. So be open to receiving it. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. If you'd like your own personalized reading that will help you move through your blocks to union, or if you'd like support moving through your blocks to union, you can find my services at SacredTwinFlameUnion.com, and I will see you all in the next video.